Hi there everyone, Mr. Lewis here. I just wanted to help you walk through your Fun with GIScience activity for today that goes with the section 2 and 3 notes from Unit 1, which was geographic data and the power of geographic data. So you're going to harness some of that power in today's activity. What I would do is get into Friday's Buzz agenda, and we're going to start from there, and you can walk through this with me step by step. And hopefully this will make things a lot more clear for all of you that are experiencing some confusion. So let's dive in. Okay, so starting in your Buzz agenda here, it says for all learners today, we're going to be doing the Fun with GIScience activity that builds off of sections 2 and 3, the power of geographic data. So click on that activity link, and then let's follow the instructions. Step 1 you really don't need to do unless you haven't looked through those particular Google slides for section 2 and 3. So start by clicking the second link. Click here to open the website that you'll use to complete this assignment. This is our Urban Observatory website. Urban meaning city, and observatory being maps and human activity. So it's not enough to just think about the geography. We're not just looking at maps. We're looking at human activity in these maps. That's why we call this human geography. So this is population density, the number of people that exist per square mile in each of these 3 cities. When you first open this website, you're going to see population density as your chosen theme. To choose different themes, you can click themes, and there's a bunch that you can pick from. I'm asking you to use transportation noise, population density, and open space. But that's in your Google Doc. You're going to see that in a second. What you're going to get to do is choose the 3 cities that you want to compare for each of those 3 themes. So you can just change it by picking a city that's in white here. The ones that are in gray don't have this particular geodata built into their map. So like Aurora doesn't have a geomap for population density, but Atlanta does. So let's pull that in there. All you would do is click and drag onto that map, and it's going to show up for you. Now, let's take a look at our actual legend for this map. Because you see yellow and red and orange, but we don't really know what it means. So if you click on the legend, it's going to tell you exactly what it means. There's yellow for the highest population density, the most people in one particular area. Orange is very high, red is high, dark red is low, magenta is very low, and then this grayish kind of color is the lowest. So if it was black, like over here in Tokyo, that's just water. And people can't live in water, so there's no population density there. So you're going to go through and choose the 3 themes that I'm asking you to, and then you get to choose 3 new cities for each theme. You're going to do 9 cities total. Go back to the activity, and for step 3, it says click here when you're ready to make a copy of the template you'll use, and then it's going to prompt you to make a copy. Go ahead and make that copy, and do 2 things for me as soon as you make that copy, please. Go up to the top and highlight copy of updated AP HuG. But just copy of updated, delete that, and put your name. So it says your name, AP HuG, Fun with GIScience. The second thing is go ahead and share it with me. You need to share this before you can submit it in Buzz. So just put in V. Lewis, click my name, Vincent Lewis, comes right up, uncheck notify. Because it doesn't matter if you send me an email, I'm going to delete that. It's just a Google Doc being shared with me. This needs to be submitted in Buzz to be graded. So you can go ahead and click share so that when you do submit it in Buzz, I have it. Now, this says, using the website, answer the questions below. After establishing some comfort using the site, compare 3 different cities for each theme. Do not reuse any city. You'll do a total of 9 cities today. So, there's 5 questions per theme. It's a total of 15 points, 1 per question. So this is the biggest assignment you've had so far. Make sure we put in some solid effort here. The first theme is transportation noise. The second theme is population density. The third theme is open spaces. So open spaces is just unused space, unused land. Population density is the number of people per unit of Earth, so per square mile. And then transportation noise is noise from transportation. So let's say you choose your 3 cities, you're going to put them in here. Okay, let's just pick right now Atlanta, London, Tokyo, but please don't use those as your own. Choose 3 different cities. And then it says, explain some of the differences you can see between the cities. What you'll notice is that these 5 questions are the same for every single theme. So the questions are going to be the same, but obviously your answers are going to be much different. So for transportation noise, let's go back to our maps. You can see again, this is for population density. So let's answer the questions for population density, since those are the maps that we currently have up. Explain some of the differences you see between the cities. Right away, you'll probably agree, Atlanta is a much less densely populated city than London or Tokyo, with Tokyo being the most densely populated. So I'm just going to write that in there. Atlanta is much less densely populated than London and Tokyo, but Tokyo looks to be more densely populated, we can put that in there, than London. That's perfectly acceptable. It's one sentence, but it's complete, it's grammatically correct, and it looks academic. Question 2 in each part. In what parts of the city do those differences occur? So let's take a look. In the center of the city, I'm going to zoom in, and as you notice when I zoom in, the rest of them will too. If I zoom in to the center of the city, they're all pretty densely populated. There's a bunch of yellow areas here in Atlanta, there's a bunch in London, bunch in Tokyo. But if you zoom out, when we get to the outskirts of Atlanta, it's much different compared to London and Tokyo. Tokyo's population density continues to be high, even on the outskirts. It's really the outskirts of Atlanta that end up being very, very much less densely populated than London and Tokyo. So I'm going to write in there, in the outskirts of the city, I'm just going to put in the outskirts of Atlanta, population density drops off by a lot. In Tokyo and London, however, population density remains high even around the outer edges of the cities. So why do you think those differences exist? This one is up to you. Okay, that's something I want you to try and answer. It's an opinion. Why do you think? Just try to come up with a solid answer. Number 9, despite the differences between the 3 maps, what similarities do you recognize? I would say something like the centermost areas of each of the cities seems to be the most densely populated. And it doesn't say, to go too far with it. It just says explain your answer. So I'm going to put the centermost areas of the city seem to be the most densely populated, because that's probably, or I'm going to put a separate sentence. I'm just going to say this is likely due to the fact that more people want to be closer to the restaurants, activities, and nightlife that comes with the urban centers. Something like that. Finally, what are some of the consequences of high and low population density within these cities? I'm going to let you come up with that, but these could be positive or negative. Okay? It doesn't just have to be negative consequences. They might be positive. It might be tough to come up with one or the other, but they could be positive or negative. A couple of negatives of high population density include high cost of living. It could be something like a strain on public resources, such as education, housing, hospitals, and public transportation, things like that. So you can come up with some more of those. Just make sure you explain your answer properly. And then once you go through all 15, all you need to do is go back to your assignment, okay, go into submit your work, and then just make sure that you put it in the Dropbox appropriately and make sure it's shared. And that's all you got to do. Everyone, I hope that helps you walk through that, and I hope those instructions are clear. Remember that for some of those, there's no right or wrong answer. It's just about thinking through some of these things and trying to come up with some reasonable causes, effects, consequences, and thinking about how human activity looks very different in geospatial form, geodata on these maps than just a basic old map as we move from city to city. So do your best with that. Reach out with any questions you might have, and just try to have that done by the time we pick things back up on Tuesday, all right? All right, enjoy your 3-day weekend. You deserve a day off. Go enjoy it. Hopefully there's some beautiful weather that we can get outside and enjoy, go hiking or something. I know I'm going to try to take the dogs out to the dunes, so maybe I'll see you out there. Enjoy, everyone. So long.